OB55 is coming, guys! This one brings us quite a bit of new stuff, and in turn, it's pretty light on the balance this time around. We'll get to that later though. Like always, let's talk about the cosmetics first. We didn't get any new mastery rewards the last update, but this update we are. 2 characters are getting them this time around, Torv and Ying. The community has been beating high-res over the head for a Torv skin, and hey, you guys finally got it. That's not all though. Remember how Andro got a steampunk skin with his mastery skins? Well, Torv is too, funny enough. Torv is getting an epic skin set called Clockwork, and I'll argue that it fits the whole steampunk theme better than Andro's Steam Demon set does. This skin, of course, will come with an accessory, body, weapon, voice pack, and a spray. I don't have the voice packs right now, sorry. They didn't play them on stream, and I couldn't get them to play in the training room. The PTS is up though, so if you want to try some of this stuff out, you can go download it right now. You get the skin from a new Steampunk box. This box will have the Torv skin, of course, as well as Steam Demon Andro and Chancellor Maldamba, so it's a good opportunity to get those if you haven't. There's also a ton of emotes and poses, like always, so if you own those, you're in good shape. If you don't, then you might have to spend a lot of crystals. Or just not get the box this time around. I know, I hate when they do that. But it seems unavoidable at this point. There's also a new skin, a rare, in there as well for Maldamba that I'll get into in a second after this next epic skin, which is for Willow. There was a list of datamine skins that I mentioned that were coming, and I said they were really exciting. Well, I was really excited for 3 specifically, and this Willow one, it was one of them. And in the datamine list it was called Dark Ember, but the real name of the skin is Hemlock Willow. It comes with an accessory, body, weapon, voice pack, and spray as well. They definitely nailed making Willow look like some dark fire fairy, which is really different from how she normally is because, you know, Willow is a plant after all. I really love dark and fire themes, and this one just puts those two together into one of my favorite characters. I cannot wait to get my hands on this skin. As for that rare skin, it's a rare from Maldamba. It's called the Filer, and it comes with an accessory, body, and weapon. As far as rare skins go, I think it looks pretty cool. Alright, so that's it for the skins. As a lot of you guys know, a new siege map is coming, Splitstone Quarry, which was the old test map Grotto, one of my personal favorites. After seeing it a bit, I could definitely tell which parts of the map became what. This map is a gold mining facility that has backstory with Ruckus, Bolt, and even a little of Barrack apparently, but they didn't really go into the whole Barrack part. It's mainly about Ruckus and Bolt from what they've said. There's some mining mechs there that you can see, and that was originally what Bolt was, a mining mech. Then Ruckus went and upgraded one of the mining mechs a bit and found this crystal that had a soul in it. That soul belonging to Bolt. So he installed the crystal into the mech and brought it to life basically. On top of all this, Ruckus and Bolt are getting a base redesign that helps show this off. Ruckus is now dressed in some rags, and Bolt is a much more fantasy style mech. A lot less metal and tech and more wood and mechanical parts. When you're playing as Ruckus, you can see the crystal that has Bolt's soul in it right in front of you, and when Bolt talks, it glows and pulses, which I thought was a really cool design choice that made the whole redesign even better. Now don't worry, if you like the old Ruckus, it'll be made into a separate skin like with the old Cassie skins, and you'll still own it if you own Ruckus, of course. It'll be called BETA, so you know, Beta. Nice one, Hi-Rez. While we're on the subject of new maps, there's another Onslaught map that's going to be in this OB Updates test queue. We have one right now called Tilted. I don't know what this new one is called. They didn't really say on the stream. They're also adding Bright Marsh and Jaguar Falls to the Onslaught mode. Now, I understand Bright Marsh. It isn't very big, and it doesn't take too long to get to the main area from spawn. But Jaguar Falls may be pushing it a bit. We'll see how it goes. Before I talk about the new character that's coming, I'm going to go over some general stuff first. There's going to be a new enchanted key option coming up that gives you a guaranteed unique legendary and then some uniques on top of that. They're adding a free character rotation to the game. They're cutting down the number of free characters to 5, and there will be 4 other characters that'll rotate every 2 weeks that they pick. You will keep owning the free characters you already own now as well, so don't worry. Emotes will now lock you in for 2 seconds, so you can't cancel an emote for 2 seconds after using one. They didn't want people using emotes to look around corners for free. The code GREENBOX is back and it's 25% off, so it's 75 crystals a pop. Party Up Weekend is this weekend. You get 20% bonus XP and gold for playing in a party. DreamHack Atlanta is also this weekend. There will be a stream tomorrow at 11 a.m. ET that you can watch until 2 p.m. ET, of course. That can drop DreamHack Mave if you're watching with your account linked. It isn't being streamed on Paladins game, it's being streamed on another channel, so I'll leave the link to that channel below in the description. Okay, new character time? I think so. We have a new support coming, and his name is Jenos the Ascended, as a lot of you may already know. So this guy went up into the mountains looking for answers of some kind, and he ended up looking to space to find them. When he did, he became a very powerful magical being. I know that lore is pretty bare bones, but that's just what they said, and I'm just reciting it to you guys. I'm sure that more will come eventually. They've been teasing it a lot. But anyway, this support is way more of a damage than a support. You know, like how Pip, Grover, and Grok are. They don't really fit in their support role. They just deal a lot of damage as well as like do a small heal every now and again. So he's definitely going to be another off healer like them. Let's get into what he can do. His primary is a high fire rate weapon. It does 120 to the body and 180 to the head. His right click is a heal over time. Basically, you just look at somebody and you instantly pop a heal on them with a press of a button. This will heal them for 250 health every second over 10 seconds. You can apply this heal through walls. His Q is Void Grip. You look at somebody and you pull them up in the air, holding them there for a few seconds while they take ticks of 35 damage. Now, this reminds me a lot of Alani's Geyser from Battleborn. It was a lot harder to land in that game because you had to actually place it on the ground, predicting where they were going to be in order to get them in it. And once you did, you had to make sure your team focused the target in order to kill them. In this game, though, the time to kill is much faster, so it basically sounds like a free kill at the press of a button, right? Well, you can still attack in it, and moving abilities will take you out of it, so it does have some counterplay. You also can't do anything but move while binding them as Jenos. On the PTS, this had no cooldown in the training room, but it has a 12-second cooldown, so don't worry. I saw the no cooldown thing myself, and I flipped out because I thought it was intentional. That would have been so broken. His F is Stellar Wind, and it's on a toggle. It will put you in a state that makes you faster, lets you jump higher, and makes you fall faster. You can't attack in this state. If you do, it takes you out of it. It's sort of like Maeve's Prowl, except not with a stupidly high cooldown, right? Makes me wonder why Maeve's isn't on a toggle, when it's most definitely worse. Anyway, his ultimate. Oh boy, you guys are gonna love this. I know it. You guys like Dragon Ball? Any Kamehameha? Any Kamehameha fans out there? Well, that's what you can do. You activate the alt, and you're stuck in place, and you can't turn while the alt winds up for that little over a second. But when it does finish winding up, you send out a big-ass Kamehameha blast out where you're looking that deals a whopping 2,400 damage to whoever it hits. It's going to kill practically every squishy. This blast goes through walls. They had to make it so you can't take damage in spawn in order to stop people from spawn killing people with it. Now, this sounds really broken at first, I know, but I think the whole you can't turn or move while winding it up balances it out. There's also a big visual showing where it's going to hit so you can get out of the way. Now for the legendaries. Oh boy, oh boy. So there's a legendary for bind that makes it so the person who's in the bind is crippled. So it eliminates basically all the counterplay there, and I think this is the stupidest legendary I've ever seen in this game, to be quite honest. It basically makes the other two legendaries non-existent because this legendary will basically guarantee your team a kill on any squidgy you put in the bind. Every 12 seconds or less if you're running a cooldown card. Maybe I'm overthinking it and it won't be so bad, but right now I think it's going to be completely busted. This really seems like a desperate attempt to make resilience more viable, and honestly, if a Jenos picks the bind legendary, it would be stupid for the enemy team to not buy resilience. As for the other legendaries, one gives you a flat 15% damage increase and gives allies you mark with your heal 15% damage bonus for the heal's duration. Now, I originally read this as it gives you the bonus damage when an ally is marked, but from what I saw, it gives you the bonus all the time just by picking the legendary. I'm not positive if that's intended or not. If it is, then hey, I could see a lot of people picking this because people like to gravitate to damage boosting legendaries even if the other options are far superior. I'll take a Jenos having more damage over holding me up in the air for everyone to easily kill me any day. The last legendary makes you heal an ally for 15% of their max health instantly, and then the normal heal over time after that. So it's just added healing. So that's his kit. Outside of that bind legendary, I think he's going to be pretty well balanced. Okay, so let's wrap this up by talking about balance. There isn't much, and most of it is pretty minor, so let's get through it. Buck is getting his net shot cooldown reduced from 14 to 12 seconds. Now, this is actually pretty big, I think. I've been trying out his Ensnare legendary, and that lets you hit for over 900 now, guys. It really lets Buck burst people down. Alright, Ruckus is getting his Fire Spit's damage fall off nerfed by about 25%. It isn't that bad of a nerf, and I think he'll still be fine after it, but I feel like they're gonna keep nerfing him because people whine about him. He isn't hard to deal with, but yet he's always banned in competitive from what I hear, at least at like, you know, the lower level of competitive. Because when I watch the competitive matches with like the pro players at like the 5,000, 5,500 elo, I really never see Ruckus banned at all. But maybe that's just, you know, like personal experience for me watching those streams. I could be completely wrong, but that's what I've seen. A lot of characters, they seem to just get nerfed because people refuse to learn how to deal with them. Eevee's up next, and that's kind of fitting because Eevee is most definitely one of those characters. They're not nerfing her this time around though, surprisingly. They're making her blink more responsive on high ping. That's cool. I'm okay with that. That's actually really good. I've died many times because it wasn't responsive. But could you maybe undo that awful nerf you did to her teleport card? I know other Eevee players are feeling that too. It hurts. It hurts a lot. Fernando is getting 500 HP taken off, so he'll be put down to 5,000. He's been pretty strong in OB54. I can understand them knocking his health down a bit. He can definitely feel a bit overwhelming to some in some situations. His Unstoppable Force card will now correctly apply knockback as well. Before this, it barely knocked people back at all, even when it was at tier 4. Grover is getting his health reduced by 300, so it's going down to 2,700. Grover is a damaged monster right now. He's a better sniper than Kanessa in some cases, so I get why they're taking some health off of him too. Kanessa's teleporter is getting the same thing as Eevee's blink. It'll feel more responsive on high ping. Makoa is getting a few nice buffs here. His damage fall off is getting pushed up by 10%, and his alt hits will now count as weapon attacks, so they'll make use of Cauterize and Wrecker. Leon, I'm waiting a bit. I'm waiting a bit here. I know some of you want my precious Scion to get nerfed. I know it. Well, ha! All Leon is getting is her legendary card art fixed. It'll now actually be displayed. Her title is also in the game now too, so if you happen to be close to level 20 or level 20, I saw level 19 the other day, it was crazy. I'm only level 12, but yeah, if you're close, then you can go ahead and unlock that title. Here's a really nice one for Shaolin Mr. Ready himself. His Impaler arrow will now knock back and stun in a more consistent manner. Right now, it's one of the most inconsistent things in the game. Like, your heel could get hit against a pebble and you'll get stunned. Oh, and one of my favorites is when he hits you with the Impaler, and instead of you getting knocked backwards, you get knocked to the left or the right, like a completely 90-degree turn, and you hit a wall, get stunned, and you die unfairly. I have so many clips of that. I really can't wait to see that go away. Sky is getting a few things done to her weapon. It's nothing that's going to make too much of a difference, though, so I'll just sum it up. The way they explained it is they're making it not as good when you put it right up into somebody's face, but it'll be better in more situations and more ranges, so you'll have more options or something. I may have misunderstood that one, but that's pretty much what they said. Victor is getting some buffs as well. I don't know why. I don't think he really needs them. Do you guys think he really needs them? They aren't big buffs though, so it isn't a bad thing. His ammo is being increased from 25 to 30, and his frag nade will have more blast radius and deal less self damage. So, you know, some small things that'll probably boost him up a little bit. Finally, we have Xin, who won't be able to counter damage over time anymore, so Fernando can light him on fire and he won't counter the tick damage. Xin counters so many things, it's crazy. I'm glad to see this one is getting knocked off. And that's it for balance. This update was very content heavy, so I get why there was so little. I do hope to see bigger balance changes soon though. The legendaries still suffer from the only one is any good problem now more than before, and there are plenty of wrongfully nerfed characters that need to be brought back up. Biggest offender would probably be Ying. poor thing has been nerfed so many times. I'll save all that for another video, another time. No, what do you guys think about the update? Let me know in the comments below, and that's pretty much it. I want to thank you all for watching. I very much appreciate it, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye!
Sleep, walk away.